Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And in today's episode, we're going to take your phone calls.
Absolutely.
Talk about what we've been playing, buying, unpacking.
Sure.
And hopefully hear from you.
Yep, whatever you want to talk about.
Right. Just in general, just talk to y'all. That's kind of what we're hoping on. So before I open the phone lines, which I will in just a moment here, Rob, we finished our game of Euphoria last week, right after we finished our episode.
Yep.
Let's take a moment and talk a little bit about our thoughts on Euphoria, our final thoughts after playing a few games.
Okay.
So
the four of us.
Yes. All right. So Euphoria, the dice placement, worker placement.
Yeah, there's a hand management a little bit. You're getting a few cards. The card part of it isn't a huge part of the game, but yeah.
We played that last week. We got a couple games in on that one night.
Yep.
I don't. Okay, I'm trying to remember who ended up winning the second game.
I won the second game.
That was I felt like there was a bigger spread on that one.
I kind of blitzed on that one. I felt like I kind of jumped ahead, and then I kept pushing, and I just kept finding ways to place those, what was it, stars in the game?
Yes.
Yeah, I found ways. In that second game, I really got in on the markets, in building those markets. Every time somebody would start a market, I'd put one on, and then the third person would jump on just to finish it because they didn't want to get left out. And so right off the bat, like the fourth turn, third, fourth, fifth turn, like back to back to back, three of the markets I think were completed, boom, 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 right in succession, and I was in on each one of them, so that allowed me to place like 3 stars right off the bat. So
I felt like I was behind on the markets, unlike the first game that we played. Now, so the markets are an area that you construct. Everybody goes to the construction site with a die to begin constructing a market. Once a market is completed, meaning it's met its criteria to be built, then the market is built. The issue is once that market is built, anyone who didn't participate in the construction of that market is going to take a penalty based on that market.
Right, and it's random tiles that are put down on the markets. You shuffle them up and put them down each time, and when you flip that tile down at the bottom in small text, there's going to be a penalty for anybody who didn't get in on the construction of that. There's a way later, there's another area you can go to and pay a pretty hefty price.
Usually.
Usually with resources and things, to then be able to place a star on there after the fact, and then you won't have that penalty anymore. So there is a way to negate the penalty, which I think is a pretty cool mechanic. You don't get completely left out for the rest of the game, but again, it is usually pretty costly. It's pretty much, I would imagine, always more costly to do it that way than to get in earlier and get in on the market. And the market flipping depends on how many people are playing. We were playing 4, so it requires 3 of the 4 slots to be filled. Yeah, and it's less with less players. But
well, I felt in the first game that we played, I felt like I was driving a lot of that construction.
Yeah.
And I think because it had to do with the cards that I had. So the recruits that I had.
Sure.
I can't remember if it's agent or recruit, but the recruit that I had, his or her ability was when you go to a construction site, I get to push my track for my faction.
There you go.
Right. So I felt like I just kept going to the construction site. So in the first game, I was dictating the pace of construction, and I left Pat behind and taking penalties on each area.
Yeah, in that game, I seem to remember like the first 3 markets that were built, he was out on each one of them, and then he was spending time trying to catch up to get his star on there so he could negate the penalty, and I think that really put him back. I know in that first game, I finished second, but it was by 1 turn. I think the turn in front of me went, if it was going to come to me, the game ends immediately when somebody places that last star. I was able to, if it would have gotten to me, to flip my card and place that last star. But so it was tight in the second one. But you're right, the first one. The second one was a little quicker.
You were more ahead on that, especially since we had already. Once we figured out the rules, the game just flew by.
Oh yeah.
But I felt like I just didn't have the comboing that I was going with in the first game, and I felt like I couldn't move my faction track forward. And I think part of it was no one else really had my faction. I was the farming faction. I think Westland.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Did you go all in on that one? Were both of your?
I did.
Okay, so yeah, there's a plus and a minus as we talked about on the last show to doing that.
But I was hoping somebody else would be wanting a desire to get food because
you push it.
Food applied to whenever you pulled your workers back. If you could feed them, you didn't have to take the penalties, and you can actually push up your morale track.
Right.
So I thought, okay, if I do them, right? Then y'all want food, right? And
somebody will help.
Y'all were you didn't care about paying food for morale.
Yeah, we had a lot of that. What was I forget what the faction that was in the clouds. The Icarus, that was the Icarites. I think between the other three of us that were playing, I think we had 5 Icarite cards, or 4 or 5. So yeah, we were all pushing that track, and we all get to flip.
I felt behind on the Icarus track.
Yeah. You
I had to go up there to get stars on that board before the Icarus location filled up.
Yeah,
because you guys were filling up so fast. So it felt like a very different game, the first game to the second game.
Yeah,
but part of it was you guys were on point. Right. We've already played our first game. You figured out the rules, and then the second game, that game flew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you talked about the time. I know in the first game it was 4 of us again, both times. So we played the same 4 of us, reset, and played it again. The first game was probably, learning the rules. We were probably about an hour and a half play time, kind of slow, figuring it out. That second one was easily under an hour, probably 45, 50 minutes, and it went quick. But yeah.
Yeah, even with the loss, for me, I think I came in last in that game. I still had fun.
It was fun, yeah.
Because I still felt a lot of the same feelings, right? The dice rolling I talked about in the last episode, last week when we did the stream on our initial impressions. The dice rolling mattered, right? You had abilities that you were looking for people to roll doubles.
Sure.
And that was fun to watch because you were getting excited every time
they rolled. Yeah.
Every time somebody else rolled dice, and you were hoping for doubles to help your recruit.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, my final thoughts on Euphoria, our first few plays here. Good worker placement game. I like it because it has dice.
Yeah, I figured the dice would appeal to you. Anytime you're rolling dice, you like it. Then the dice are a decent amount of the game.
Not a huge amount,
not huge,
though.
No, yeah, not enough to where the luck takes over. So that's what I like about it. So you're satisfied with the dice. I'm satisfied with just about everything else. It is a Euro, so I'm a Euro guy, and the game is a little thinky. If you can figure out the right things to do. The thing that I thought was most fun, kind of going backwards, looking at it, was. And I mentioned this in our last show also, was that just seeing the little bits of this game that ended up in Scythe, the big, huge, mega popular game. It was really neat to me, kind of seeing, this is where that came from. This is how where Jeremy got that for and carried it over into Scythe. So that was pretty cool.
I think for me, one of the things that I really made me appreciate Scythe was the win condition, right? Adding that last star, and then you score your victory points based on the money you made. In this game, in Euphoria, Building Better Dystopia, the last star just ends it.
It did feel abrupt, and we talked about that a little bit last time. Yeah, that in Scythe, once you place the last one, you go around one more time. Everybody gets a chance to finish out the round, and then you do count points. But I know when we finished that first game, you forgot that there weren't points, and so when we placed the last star, we ended the game. You're like, okay, so let's count up points.
Yay!
And then it's like, hold on, where are the points? There are no points in this game.
Right.
So this one is truly a race. When you place that 10th star, you're done and you win. So,
but I think that also changed my mindset on the second game, and everybody's mindset, because that's what helped it move so fast.
Sure.
It gave me that adrenaline rush of like, I got to go.
It was a race.
If I don't get these stars on the board, I'm going to lose the game, because it's not about building resources, it's not about getting area, it's not about getting money, it's about putting stars on the board.
Yep. It's definitely a race to the finish. Yep.
So Euphoria, Building a Better Dystopia.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm glad it's in my collection now.
Yeah.
So it's I think everyone at the table enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's not. I think I mentioned last time also that, and again, we hadn't even completed our first game there. It's not my number one on that style of game, but it is a game I liked. It was fun, and I would definitely play it again. So
and Dystopia. No, wait. Euphoria.
Dystopia. You did that last time.
Yeah, Building a Better Dystopia.
There you go. Yep.
All right, so now we'll move into opening the lines.
Get that phone number up for everybody to take a look at.
Yeah, let's get the phone number on the board. And it is, and let me check the phone line here.
Phone line, and as always, we're open to talk about whatever. If you want to chime in on a subject that we are chatting about, if not, if you've got something you've played recently, a new acquisition, something you've heard some news about, any Kickstarter news, whether we've heard of it or not, we certainly would love to talk to you about it. If we know anything, we'll give you what we know or what we think about it. But feel free to call in. The line is open.
Yeah, we are definitely not like insiders in anything in this community.
no.
We are just two gaming dads.
Two guys, yeah. Just playing games.
So we're going to talk about the stuff that we like. We're going to talk about the things that we've been watching out for. But if you've got any news that you want to share with us or things you want us to talk about with you, right? Because that's the goal, is I want to hear from you. We can talk with you. But I will promise this time we had a pretty solidly strong conversation last week.
Oh, yeah. It was a little controversial, but yeah.
My commitment to you as the viewers is I will ask my callers to watch the language, right?
Sure.
So you can be passionate, but let's keep the language down, because I don't know who is in the room with you while you're watching.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the reason that someone hears something in a way. Mm-hmm. So that will be my commitment to you, is if callers come in a little bit hot, I'm fine with passion, I'm fine with hot, but we'll just tone the language down.
Right.
So that'll be my commitment to you, is I'll call our callers out on that.
Yeah, we want to be family friendly, and that way we can appeal to a wider audience. So
Nuts, I mean, I still got my
Florida
Blood Bowl mugs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But I
Blood
guess,
Bowl. Let's talk.
Blood Bowl,
let me get that out there
Sure.
in the news. So I'm still working my first ever Blood Bowl tournament that I'm hosting.
There you go.
And I will be hosting this March 6th at Zephyr Hills at Your Turn, a board game cafe in Zephyr Hills. It'll be my first official tournament, and I just got sanctioned.
Cool.
So official, it's going to be on the worldwide rankings. So any players that want to get points into the worldwide rankings, please show up. Go to our Facebook group, the Beans and Dice Facebook page, and you'll find information about that Blood Bowl tournament in Zephyr Hills, Florida. I'm excited. I'm going this weekend, Rob. Saturday, I'll be in Kissimmee playing in my first Blood Bowl tournament.
Oh, okay.
So, last year was the year I really got into Blood Bowl, and I tried to get you into it right before that.
Yeah.
It was like September, was it, at Dragon Con? September 2018?
May have been, yeah.
And so 2019 was supposed to be my big year of Blood Bowl. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I did my first league.
Yeah.
And here Rob's got an image of the Blood Bowl box. I did my first league in 2020, but that abruptly ended in March.
Yeah.
We never even got to finish the league, go to the playoffs or anything, but I had so much fun playing it, and I had to kind of put it aside for now, but I'm excited to be getting out in person. They're going to be giving away custom Blood Bowl face masks.
Okay.
Right? So everybody's going to have face masks. They're giving away dice.
Cool.
So that each person will have their own set of dice to use. We don't have to share any dice. You stay on your side of the table, I stay on mine. But we're going to get some Blood Bowl action in this weekend in Kissimmee. So I'm super excited about representing Beans and Dice in that Blood Bowl community.
Cool. You going to wear your jersey?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to my father-in-law's tomorrow.
Okay.
He's going to go ahead and sew on to my jersey all the patches that I have for Blood Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to see, I'm going to look like I'm going to look like a Cub Scout with just like patches all over.
Get a little sash. You should get a sash to put on with all your.
I don't know. That's a bit much.
No sash?
That's too far, Rob. Too far. Right. You cross the line.
Okay.
I mean, this is a man's game.
Well, Boy Scouts has sashes. Boy Scouts, not Scouts, but yeah.
So that's what I've got planned for this weekend for gaming. What I'm super excited about. What about you, Rob? What you got for the folks?
Not a whole lot. Haven't done much gaming, unfortunately, in the last week or so. Played a little bit further along with My City. I've mentioned that last couple of weeks that I've been playing that with my two older kids and my 17-year-old and my 15-year-old, and they're liking it. We've got 5 sessions left, so there's 24 sessions, so we're 19 in. We've got 5 left, and when we started the first 3 games, they were like, the game's all right. It's kind of fun, and then it's ramped up. It's gotten easier and easier to get them to play, and then I think it was the game before last that we played. I said, well, yeah, let's just get through this. I mean, you guys, said that you're not really, really enjoying it. I was like, I really like it. And both of them looked at me like, I never said that. This game's great. I love this game. So
I watched you guys play at Your Turn.
You did? Yeah.
And the kids were excited.
Yeah. They're getting into it. They're really liking it. So only actually get rid of this Blood Bowl stuff. But yeah, it's like I say, it's getting easier and easier to get them to play as we go along. And I'm a little almost sad that we're coming down to the last 5 scenarios. So we'll see. I have heard. I've tried to stay away from any kind of spoilers because there's envelopes as you go along. Each 3 scenarios, you open a new envelope and it changes some of the rules. And I've heard that the last envelope, the last 3 games you play, kind of turns the game on its head. And some people were turned off by it. They said that it kind of ruined the experience for them a little bit. So I can't imagine right now what's going to change so drastically in that last envelope. But so I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping we won't have that feeling when we're done.
Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Is it Ragnarok?
Just destroy everything? I don't know. It could be.
This scenario written by Eric Lang. Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Everything burns.
Just burn it down. But other than that, the only other thing I think I've played, and this is touching back on sensitive territory here, was online. We had our Thunder Alley League.
Yep.
We played last week, and you had to miss, unfortunately, at the last minute. So
yeah, we had a big day of gaming at the house here, and I just could not get everything that I needed done before that, so I did miss it, and I got last place points. So my team has lost a spot in the board. But how'd the game go? What'd I miss?
It went pretty good. I had my best game of the season. I actually won the race.
I saw that.
So, yeah, I was in last place out of the 7 of us on the leaderboard, and so I think a lot of people felt that they weren't threatened by me, and so I actually had a couple of people jump in at different opportunities and kind of push me along, and then I was able to help them in return. But I made a few wheel and deals during the game, and both Muhammad and Dan, surprisingly, Dan, the second half of the race, him and I started working together, and we.
Well, I mean, he's already in the lead, and you're at the bottom.
Right.
He does nothing but gain from this.
Exactly. So,
everyone else is just upset about the idea of the guy at the top being helped by the guy at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because all we do is Dan's pretty much solidified his lead for this season.
It's pretty big. He's at 40-ish points now with and I guess the number of games we have left is a little open too, because we were going to play 7, but when we played again, you weren't there. You've been running it, and you had a list of which tracks from week to week. We ended up playing a track that you didn't necessarily plan to play. So now I guess the consensus of the group that I'm seeing is that we're going to probably add an 8th week, and we'll just go ahead and play the rest of what you've set up, and then just make it 1 week longer, 1 race longer. So
don't mean nothing to me. I'm good with either way.
Okay.
That was what we played last year. Wow, last year. Oh. That's what we played last year when Muhammad won the season.
Yeah.
So I just left the names on the track up there.
Oh, okay.
So moving them around in any order doesn't mean anything.
Okay. I didn't look to see if it was a carbon copy. So if it was just what we did last year, I guess that's just what came up. But yeah, it's one of the same tracks. It's just you had I guess last year we played the inner track, the road track, and this year we just did the oval when we played the other night. So
I gotta say, Thunder Alley as a league game, is just so much fun. If anybody is into any racing type games, doesn't have to be car racing, because it's just an overall good racing game.
Right.
Being able to play with a group of people, the same group, for 6, 7, 8 games in a league, keeping track of championship points and watching the leaderboard go up and down.
There's a lot of luck involved in the game. I think pretty much any racing game is going to have a lot of luck, because you want a lot of random stuff to happen that makes it exciting, that makes it fun. But this is probably the thinkiest of the racing games that I've played, even though you can't pre-plan a lot, because by the time it comes back around to your turn with more than 3 or 4 players, the track and the board is so different than what it was when you had your last turn. So you can't pre-plan, but having the limited number of cards, having certain types of movement, trying to decide, get your cars either in a line and pull them along, or push them along, or split them up and get in different lines, let people push you along.
Asking people to push you along.
Making deals, negotiations.
You got to be not afraid to ask for help.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, but that's what makes it fun. And so, and I agree with you. I think it's a thinky, fun. I won't say quick. Most of our games, we're playing at 7, but most of our games are lasting between 2 and 3 hours, maybe even 3+ sometimes. But it's a good time, and everybody's enjoying it. Even Nick Oben, who joined us this season. This was his first season, and
he's learning a lot.
Yeah, first time he'd ever played, and I think in the third game there was a pretty major rule that we either glossed over or we didn't explain very well, and so he was like, "Oh, you can do that," and it's like, I wish I'd have known that 2 games ago, but I think he's up to speed now, and he's He climbed up past me last game you were in.
Because you guys are fighting for the bottom.
Right, we were fighting for the bottom, and then this time I had a big game, and I moved back past him. And actually, I think I'm 1 point behind you now. So
I saw that. Well, it's literally 1 point.
So it's on.
But Muhammad, Dan, Mike, and Muhammad are just there's going to be a gap in that top three. So we're going to be fighting for the bottom.
Yeah, well,
if one of us can get podium, that'd be amazing.
Well, yeah. Say if one of us can, maybe we can work. Maybe we can get the bottom three or bottom four to work together, and we can try to close that gap.
I forget about Nicholas. I forget about Nicholas.
Nicholas Terry.
There's Nick Oben, then there's Nicholas Terry.
Yeah.
So if the four of us work together, to shaft the top three,
that works. So,
chaos.
Yeah, chaos, as Dan likes to say. So that's funny.
Thanks for the update on Thunder Alley.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that. I was not able to kick off what I was hoping to do. Baseball Highlights 2045 little online tournament.
I saw that, yeah.
I just didn't get enough hits on that.
Interest, yeah.
So I think I need to maybe play a few games with a few different people at different times.
You need to pull it out in front of people and let them see it, yeah.
Yeah, and share it and play it. But it's digital, too. It's Android and it's cross. So you can play your Android against somebody else's iPhone. Yeah, Apple product. I'm not iOS. There we go.
There you go. Yep.
So we could play cross-platform that way. Yeah. And just kind of teach people digitally online.
I'm thinking there's probably not a lot of baseball, particularly baseball fans in our group. I haven't heard people talk about baseball, and so that's going to be the hurdle to get over. Again, if you show them the game and you show them the game is fun, that's what's going to do it.
It's a great deck building game.
Right, exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a great deck building game.
That's what you're going to have to get people to see because they're not going to be automatically bought in by the baseball theme. So
makes me sad that I couldn't pull that one together.
Yeah, well, there's still time.
I was even giving away a copy of the game. I was going to shoot. Let me roll back here.
Well, I was in on that. So, while you're grabbing that, I'm down for whatever, and I've played it, and so I'm familiar. But, yeah.
See, for you folks on the video, that I'm giving away a copy in shrink of Baseball Highlights 2045, the Spring Training Edition.
Yeah.
So I was going to host the online tournament with this. But then I also want to host a in-person tournament at your turn.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a more successful way to do it.
Yeah, we just got to, once we're able to get a few people together, we got to just, like I say, got to get it out, show people what it's like, how it plays, the deck building part of it. That's the fun of that game. So, yeah.
Big news, Summoner Wars.
Oh, yeah,
It's new edition.
Second edition.
I am super excited.
That was, I mentioned it briefly before, but that was one of the first games, one of the earlier games you used to bring me into the hobby. And I remember we played a fair amount of Summoner Wars there for probably 6 months. We were playing it pretty often. We went through a lot of the...
You hated dice.
Yeah, exactly. You were trying to find things without dice that would appeal to me. So, and that was a fun game. I'll bring it up here on the BGG. But you want to
they're putting out more pictures now, so I'm seeing more of the artwork. It's different. It's more cartoony than it used to be, but it looks like this. It looks like the dice are changed. The dice appear to be symbols now instead of numbers. Yeah. So remember before you had to hit a certain number to get hits.
Right.
So now it looks like they've gone to more of a dice pool symbols, but the board itself looks the same, right? So the same tactical board as before. Is that the original version? Or is that the...
This is the original. Yeah, I don't know that they'll have the second one on here yet. I can look real quick in just a second, but because it's pretty new news that stuff's just coming out.
Yeah, the new one, it's on the Plaid Hat website, so I was checking it out because they said March 1st they'll have big news on it.
Okay.
Right, so I think more news about the release date. I'm excited about Summoner Wars, the new edition coming out.
Yeah, they don't have anything on here yet.
Yeah, we got a call coming in. This is awesome. We want to thank you for that. So
cool.
Let's take a peek and see what this is here. Beans and Ice Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey guys, it's Patrick from Temple Terrace. How's it going?
Hey Patrick. Thank you for saving us, man. We are.
Give us something to talk about.
What you got going on?
Well, I backed Terraforming Mars Ares.
Oh, yeah, the new hotness on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so excited about that. Excited about just following the milestones. I did the basic pledge. I didn't do anything higher.
Okay. I haven't
I
actually
didn't need a second
seen
copy
the.
of Terraforming Mars.
I was gonna say I haven't seen any of the pledge levels yet. What all are they offering? Is it just one option on the Ares? Is the new game?
Yeah, so the base level is just the new game,
Okay.
and then the as you go higher, it's copies of the main or the original game.
Gotcha.
Oh,
copies
okay.
of the expansion,
Okay. Gotcha.
the big box thing, and obviously it gets exponentially more expensive. And I was just like, all right,
Exponentially.
Of course.
I'm not gonna spend that, So I was just like, all right, $40 for the base game sounds good, plus shipping.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's. Have you seen any of the? I know just within the last couple of days, they've broken the embargo on some of the reviews and some of the.
I think some learn to plays are starting to come
learn
out.
to plays. Have you seen any of that stuff online yet?
I started watching Rados for a little bit, and
Okay, I saw that
just
one.
got busy with other things,
Oh, yeah.
I probably got halfway through, and then I just got busy with something else. Couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But it pretty much just looks like a combination of what Puerto Rico and or San Juan more so, since it's the card game.
Yeah.
And then and Terraforming Mars is pretty much what it looks like.
Yeah, it really seems to be the heart of Terraforming Mars. I mean, it really seems to be the same game, just slimmed down. They took out some of the excess stuff. Right, they distilled it down. They've added one new element I've seen is that you don't go through all of the possibilities every time it's your turn. You've got, I think it's 5 cards. One is to draw cards, one is to build cards, one is to activate actions. There's there's 2 more, I think. I think it's either 4 or 5. But each turn, you pre-select one of those actions, and you can't do the same action.
Oh,
2
that's where you
turns in a
say
row.
San Juan.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yep, there you go. That's similarity there. So.
Or TI4 or TI.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
TI4 gets it from Puerto Rico. I think.
Yeah,
I think it came from Puerto Rico.
That could be, yeah.
That or Puerto Rico got it from TI4 because TI4 has been around a long time. But I think that mechanism was added after Puerto Rico.
Probably.
I think Christensen added that one after Puerto Rico.
Okay, added it to TI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it looks like fun. Again, it looks like from everything I'm seeing, people are saying it is the heart of Terraforming Mars, and so.
Yeah.
And if you want to play a quick version of it, I have heard the opinions of people saying, the people who've actually played it and had a chance to have it, even though they haven't been able to do full detailed reviews, I don't think yet of it, or give all the information. But I have seen the opinion that some people are saying that it may be a little too streamlined and a little too quick, and I personally think I'm going to feel that way, even though I'm really eager to play it. But I kind of like the idea that when I play Terraforming Mars, I'm committing 3 to 4 hours, and I want to sit down, I want to dig into it, I really want to build my tableau, I want to get as many cards on the table as I can. But again, you can't always do that, and so I think this is really, if it's really in that same vein, this is really going to give you a chance to play Terraforming Mars in what I don't know what they're advertising, 1 to 2 hours, something like that. So I'm hoping.
What's the game like?
40 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour.
Oh wow!
And you know me, like I'm always looking for games to play with my family.
Sure.
And if this drags Terraforming Mars into 1/3 of the time that we can get together and play it, that's
Sure.
definitely something that they're more interested in. It's definitely just playing something for an hour instead of 3 hours.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. There'll be a big market for that, and I think people probably will be able to own both. I don't want to get way ahead of the card here, but I think if you love Terraforming Mars, there's always those situations where you wish you could play Terraforming Mars in 40 minutes, and so I'm hoping it keeps all that meat from Terraforming Mars. Yeah.
All right, so
I'm keeping both.
Keep it on the Euphoria topic. Since you were here, Patrick, you were here with us.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts after getting a couple of gameplays under your belt?
It was great, but not as great as I was thinking it was gonna be.
It's fair.
And I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
That didn't click with me, and I think I'm still trying to. I've thought about this recently, and because I think about it, anyways.
That's what we do. We think about board games.
Think about things, yeah.
Right. So I was thinking about it, and it's kind of like the quandary I had with Tapestry is just like what was the problem I was seeing, and it was just it was lackluster, but I didn't know what was lackluster about it. And I don't know. I feel like he pulled the theme pretty far out, but the mechanics just didn't seem to fit the theme, but they did. Like, it's just weird. It's in this weird limbo,
well,
of just, hey, this is a cool game, but I don't know if I can see myself pulling this out all the time. I just don't see it coming off the shelf all the time. I don't know if the expansion changes that. I mean, who knows?
I'm going to say that after we played it the second time, we talked about it just here, just a few minutes ago. But after we played it the second time, we talked about how much quicker it was once we learned the mechanics.
Yeah.
And I do feel that second time through was actually, even though I won and I was the one pushing the pace because that was the way to do it, but it was almost over too quick, even for me. Even though I could see the finish line and I was racing towards it. It's that second playthrough didn't feel as meaty and like I was really doing a bunch of stuff. I was just seeing the opportunities. Okay, I can get one there. 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 Get my stars. Go, go, go. And it did. That second playthrough seemed to lack a little of the theme and the feeling of what I was doing. It really, in my mind, and I guess Carlos maybe kind of alluded to this in what you were saying a few minutes ago, is that it became more about the mechanics the second time because, as you mentioned, once we learned how to do it the first time, and the first time we were talking about, hey, you're over here, you're doing this, you're getting food, you're cashing it in over here. The second time, I didn't have any of those kinds of thoughts in my head. It was like, boom, there's a star. Boom, there's a star. Over there, somebody's doing something. I can go get a star. And it really just became the mechanics. How do I X, Y, Z get to the finish line? So
I was still connecting theme. I still didn't lose that for me. I guess I'm much heavier theme guy.
Yeah.
I think everything I did, I set it. I kind of role played it. I'm going to electroshock this guy up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go feed these workers and bring them back. That's going to give me some morale. And I guess that, but I did have to, Patrick, you're right. I had to force that for me to continue to connect that theme. I could have easily just began saying, I push here, I move that, I gain this.
Yeah, and I'm not a themey guy, but I and again I'll open it up back to you, Pat. But again, I'm not a themey guy at all. That's no secret. I'm more about mechanics. But that second time, again, it all became mechanics for me. It was like boom, boom, boom. But
it's not like with Brass Birmingham. Like with Brass Birmingham, I felt the theme the entire time.
Sure, yeah.
That's heavier than this game, and it just. I didn't feel like I was just going through the motions, and I think that's the best way to put it. Now that we kind of discuss it a little bit more,
sure,
is that Brass Birmingham? It felt quick, it felt fast, but it felt heavy. It felt like your decisions mattered, and you weren't just trying to figure out this puzzle to finish the race. You know.
Yeah.
And granted, that's everyone gets the same amount of turns in Brass, so. I mean that
was rough, man. Because the way Euphoria ends, it just hurts.
Yeah, it's abrupt,
but it's cool because it's like a race. It truly is a race.
Yeah. And what we were talking about? In our little chat, Carlos, with Michael, Aaron, and Dan, and Justin. We were talking earlier about the new Magic the Gathering set that's going to come out, Strixhaven, which I guess is loosely based off of Harry Potter. And we were just like, oh, this theme. And I they were joking that I was interested in it. I'm like, I don't really care because they're just it's a lack of originality, And that's I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry, total tangent.
That's all right.
But you have been seeing a lot of Wizards of the Coast trying different things with Magic the Gathering. I think he's jumping from Euphoria to Magic the Gathering now. But I've been hearing things about Magic the Gathering tied into Walking Dead and even Bob Ross special edition cards.
Yeah.
And now this Harry Potter styled fantasy. It's just going to try to listen. Magic is a solid game. I don't care who you are. Magic the Gathering, the rule set, the play. I used to take decks, and I never played competitively ever, but I used to take decks to work, and there would always be someone who knew how to play in any meeting or anything, and I'd have someone to play with at lunch.
I've never played.
We got to fix that.
Yeah, you would actually like it, Rob.
Yeah,
I think you would. I think put some pretty basic decks in front of you, and maybe did did like a simple Commander game. Commander might be fun.
I probably would, yeah. And I like Keyforge.
And,
I know they're not the same game, but I'm a fan of Keyforge. I played some of that and did a little bit of competitive play with Keyforge. But and I'm hearing that Magic actually had its best year ever last year, which a lot of people are having a hard time figuring that out with the pandemic and no competitive play and all that kind of stuff. How could they have had their best year ever? But I think it's because they're branching into some of these other markets. I've heard them talking about, with the Harry Potter and some of this limited time releases where you can only get certain kinds of cards for certain amounts of time. Yeah. They're really building, keeping the hype. I can't say building the hype. I mean, it's been around forever, but they're keeping the hype up on the game and keeping people talking about it and wanting it and buying different stuff. And I mean, at this point, it's a collector's thing as well, right? I mean, anybody who plays really competitively and wants to do well, you've got to spend a decent amount of money. You've got to really get into the collector side of it. But
see, for me, I like buying decks, like pre-made decks. You just buy a couple of pre-made decks and just boom, you go at it.
Yeah.
Pat, thanks so much for calling in, man. I appreciate you saving us that we aren't fully alone each episode. So thanks again for reaching out, my friend. Be safe.
Of course, man. I'll keep watching. Don't worry.
Thanks.
Have a good night, Patrick.
Yeah, you too, guys. Bye.
Bye.
That was good. I'm glad to get I didn't advertise this one as much, but we did get a voicemail from a caller talking about the Blood Bowl tournament that's coming up.
Oh, okay, cool.
The one that I'm going to, I think someone else is going there, but
okay, not the one at your turn, but the one coming up this weekend.
Yeah, it's too bad we were on a phone call, but I mean, I'm loving that. I guess we only have one phone line, so if we're on the phone with somebody, it's going to go busy or leave a voicemail. But the one line is open again.
Yeah, if you get a chance to call in, it's open now. So go ahead, call us. We can talk a little Blood Bowl. It's not my favorite topic, but Carlos will chat it up with you. So, and you were talking about you got to teach me because you're
going to be the ringer.
I'm going to be or the stand-in
because it is a Beans and Dice production. This is going to be Beans and Dice production for the tournament. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have you there helping me out with making sure we're putting all the wins and the losses in correctly, organizing the tournament.
Sure.
But in the event that somebody
doesn't show
and we're odd, we'll need an extra person, extra body to play so we can keep the game even, and that's where
I'll be the lamb to the wolves,
the baby sheep being clubbed.
Yeah. So I've played with the old version maybe twice, and I've never played the new version, so it'll be an easy win if you happen to get paired up with me. But
so just
that's okay.
There you go, folks. Yeah, show up.
Look for that.
Easy points.
Easy points. Easy money.
Easy NAF points.
Yeah.
In the news. More topics in the news. Fantasy Flight Games, man. I got an email from FFG because I'm still on their organized play email list.
Oh yeah.
From all the X-Wing stuff I did and the Armada stuff I did.
Sure.
But to see, the Legend of the Five Rings going away, and I get it. They've done this before. It's not the first time. They've LCGs that have ended, right? Like they finished the cycle and they stopped building them.
Everything comes to an end. Yeah.
But it's just like it feels sad. We got a call coming in. Let's take a look. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, this is James Left. I'm calling from VR, Florida.
Hey, James. How are you, sir?
What's going on? How are you tonight?
Doing well.
Good.
James is my partner in crime when it comes to Blood Bowl. He's helping me get into this whole Blood Bowl community for Florida. He is the regional tournament organizer.
Awesome.
So I had to get permission. It's like the Godfather. I got to go and
make
ask
your
for permission. But what's going on? Any news for the folks out there watching? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, we have a big tournament coming up on Saturday that you're going to be taking part of, and everyone's looking forward to. We got 30 coaches all congregating over in Kissimmee at Coliseum of Comics. And it's a NAF-approved tournament that Ken Parks is running, Coliseum Cup, and it's using the new Blood Bowl rules. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people looking forward to it. We had a cap of 30, and we hit that cap right quick. If we didn't have a cap, I'm pretty sure we probably could have hit 40 or more.
Yeah, I've seen people posting online asking if there's still room.
Okay, I was going to ask if it's closed already, but yeah, cool.
I'm excited. This is going to be my first tournament. It'll be my first tournament. I've got right behind Rob, just to the right of him on screen, you can see my Norse team. I'm finishing putting paint on those because I got to have them painted before I show up. So Barry's going to come over early morning Saturday. We're going to jump in my truck, head on out to Kissimmee with a cooler full of food and ready to play.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Road tripping out to play a Blood Bowl tournament, spend the day out there. We got plans. I mean, I know it's quite a drive for you guys, but usually we all go out to dinner afterwards, just kind of hang out for a little bit. But so you guys are more than welcome. I think we're going to what is it? Miller's.
You said Miller's, which is my spot. That's my Tampa spot.
Yeah.
So I mean,
awesome.
I'll get my 35 fried shrimp.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I get when I go.
And what else is there? I mean, it's a huge plate of fried shrimp.
Well, not so bad. Yeah.
And lots of
We
good
would
beer.
hit that one up in Jacksonville after a Jacksonville tournament up there. We would go.
Yep. And then shortly after that, we'll be doing the tournament here in Zephyr Hills, March 6th. What else you got lined up this quarter for Blood Bowl wise?
Well, it's kind of like everything just kind of blows up all at once. So after your event, there's going to be let me see, yours is in March. Beginning of April, there's going to be a warm-up to the Three Kingdoms Challenge. We have a Blood Bowl legend who's won Chaos Cup twice. His name's Brian, too. Him and his son, JJ, are coming from Utah, spending some time here in Florida. And it's really cool when somebody comes to Florida and they message you and they're like, hey, I'm going to be in town. I would love to play Blood Bowl with the with the Florida crew.
Cool.
That's a nice tip of the cap that people want to come play Blood Bowl with us. That's awesome. So we've decided to put together a tournament, and it would give us an opportunity we're going to use the same rule set that we're going to use for Three Kingdoms Challenge at the end of April to give people a chance to partner up with their teammate.
This one's going to be a team tournament. Yeah. You didn't say it yet, but
it's going to be a team tournament.
So two coaches come together, and our record together is going to dictate where we place.
I would drag you down like a rock.
It's a lot of fun. Sometimes we've done this before in two varieties. So for those who don't know, Three Kingdoms Challenge is Florida's oldest Blood Bowl tournament.
Oh, cool.
And it goes back
Old Man Monkey, right?
Years. Old Man Monkey, Jim Lanier. He is an NAF legend, and he is one of the he's one of the nicest guys.
He got me. And he taught me my first game in the store.
Sweet.
He showed up, Rob.
Yeah,
I showed up. He showed up and just started giving me stuff like neoprene mats and dice and patches.
Nice.
And he's like, I mean, I hadn't even played a full game in my life. So I'm like, he doesn't know if I'm committed or not.
Indoctrinate you into the game.
But right after that, I was committed.
There you go.
That's how we get people in. We hook them with the swag.
The freebies.
They're like, oh, this stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm drinking out of a huge, liter of beer with the Florida Blood Bowl logo on it right now. So you get that swag.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm looking forward to it, man. This will be my first tournament. I've done one league, but then COVID ruined everything. But this will be my first tournament, so I'm excited. I was big in the tournament scene when it came to X-Wing and Armada.
We did that.
And even Legion. I played some Legion. Not Legion. Imperial Assault. That's the one. Imperial Assault tournaments. Okay. Yeah. So I did a lot of those tournaments that way, but I've never done a Blood Bowl tournament, so I'm excited about the community itself. So I want to thank you for having me out for that. And I see that you've got a tournament set up that's focused on giving away. You're doing a baby shower, and this is what I love about this community, Rob. They do events to help people in need. Like if something comes up, they'll throw a tournament together and just throw the proceeds to that family.
Sweet.
I mean, that you can't beat that. It really brings you in. So I'm trying to, James. If you don't see, I'm trying to get Rob into it.
He's trying really hard.
You're in.
He likes Vikings. That's the whole reason I bought that Grebo Norse team because he likes Vikings. So I bought it so we can assemble it and teach him how to play. That's what he's taking to the Beans and Dice.
Well, how do people find out about what you've got going on? Tournaments, open registrations, things like that? Do you have a website or something set up online?
Yeah, we have a website, floridabloodbowl.com, and I try and keep that site updated for a lot of people who don't use social media.
Okay.
But if you do use social media on Facebook, just facebook.com/FloridaBloodBowl. It's easy to find. Has all of our events coming up for the rest of the year. And Carlos, you'd asked before, like, what's coming up? Like, there's a lot of events coming up. So there are the 2 TKC events in April, the warm-up and then the real one. Then we have April, May. We have the Boglin Bowl, which is going to be the Blood Bowl baby shower. Then we have the Big Daddy's Cup at the end of May. So that's a unique tournament right there in and of itself because it is a 2 million team build.
It's like twice the money you can buy.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Okay,
you can really spend.
So if you wanted to play like a team that has all the toys, all the bells and whistles,
there you go.
That's the event that you want to go to. That'll really kind of open your eyes to all the stuff that you can do.
The fun.
God, what else? I mean, there's just a lot of stuff in it. There's more and more being added. We tend to run about 1 to 2 events a month.
Cool.
And even like with all those events, every tournament organizer that I've spoken to has nothing but the safety of everybody who's coming to attend at the forefront of their mind, with social distancing, trying to space out the tables, limiting the amount of coaches, face masks. Ken actually, who's running the Coliseum Cup this weekend, had special face masks with our Voodoo logo.
I'm excited about that.
Are going to be made available. Yeah, me
Cool.
too.
So the Voodoo, right? So Rob, the James runs the Florida Blood Bowl League, right? But he's gotten together with some of the southeastern states like Louisiana. Who else is in there? And created this Voodoo like division.
Oh boy. Yeah, Tennessee, Louisiana, Florida, Alabama.
Like a region, yeah.
Right. So now we have tournaments within the region that are Voodoo sanctioned. So then you get ranked within that Voodoo league.
Wow.
So I mean, it's
big time.
Yeah. Sports ball,
it's a
baby.
tool that they put together to get people to travel and play more tournaments and just kind of get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's a big thing when you step out of Florida and you go play with other people that you've never played with before, or if you go to like a U.S. major like Chaos Cup. It's a little bit of an eye opener. It's a lot of fun, kind of get you from this pond into a bigger pond.
Sure. Yeah.
But, Jason York, he manages the Voodoo Tournament Series for the NAF. It is happening this year. Florida is just a huge magnet for Blood Bowl, but there are other states like Mississippi. That's one of the other ones. They run tournaments. I think everybody right now is still a little bit trepidatious about running a tournament.
Sure.
So I think we're going to see more later, mid to late this year. But right now, Florida's just kind of doing its thing, and
we're Florida. That's what we do.
No one's gotten sick from any events. Everybody's been very respectful and open-minded about what the TOs want them to do for the store, for their safety, for their customers, and for playing with each other. So, I think we're doing the right thing. We're getting out there. We're, playing some Blood Bowl, but we're also being as safe about it as we possibly can be.
That's right. Mask up. The sanitizer there. Don't share dice. Stay on your side. I'll stay on mine. Let's have fun. Let's have some fun.
Right.
Yeah. And the great part is I go to a lot of races, and they always give out a ton of these small hand sanitizers. So I've been collecting a bunch of them. I'll be in Daytona again this weekend for the NASCAR race.
Yep.
And every time I walk through that gate, when I go to the bathroom, I grab like 2. So I'm going to be having another stack of these for my tournament. So you can see these all over the place, keeping you guys safe. So we look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you this weekend, James, in Kissimmee. Thank you for calling in, man. I'm First time calling in, man. I appreciate you calling in. We need more Blood Bowl updates, and not just from me, because Rob's sick of hearing me talk about
always blah, blah, blah.
I love what you guys are doing. It's awesome.
Awesome.
It's very entertaining to watch, and I love all the content. So thanks for having me on here.
Right,
absolutely.
James.
Keep it. Glad to hear y'all are having success.
Yes.
Absolutely. See you guys on Saturday.
Will do. Stay safe.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye. I love Blood Bowl.
Cool. Yeah, you can talk about that all night. I was wondering if I was going to have to tell you to pull the plug on that.
You got it. Sometimes you got to.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just put me in.
That's funny.
But we did, so it looks like we missed another call in between that. Man, this is pretty cool.
Well, the line is open again.
Yeah,
so
the line is open.
If you want to call back, definitely give us a buzz. We're here. We're here for at least another 15, 20 minutes. So, yeah.
So getting phone calls is nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. It gives us different things to talk about, so you don't have to hear about the same things from week to week. Yeah?
Right. What do you got going on? I want to talk about that. FFG, my concern, I think was where we were last word. I'm just... I'm an FFG fanboy, to the hilt, man. So many games from FFG that I have. Mm-hmm. And just the feeling I have is so sad.
Yeah, I know the Dice Tower guys were talking about it this morning, and both of you and I were talking about this before the show with on Board Game Breakfast this morning, and they had a little bit of a discussion about Tom specifically talking about that he was a little worried for FFG, and he talked about how just a year or two ago, FFG was it. It was the huge company. They were doing everything right. People were excited whenever they announced something new. When at the beginning of the year, when they had their rollout conference to talk about all the new stuff that was coming out with X-Wing, and
when they did their in-flight report at Gen Con and
in-flight report. That's what I was thinking. Yep.
I'd be watching with hundreds and hundreds of people, live and
then now it's like, wow, where
X-Wing is gone.
Yeah.
Star Wars Armada's gone. Destiny's dead.
Yeah, Legend of Five Rings. They're ending.
Ending Legend of the Five Rings. I feel like they're taking away, and they're giving them to different companies to manage.
Yeah.
So I'm really I'd like to see a statement on the strategy. If someone could find that 5-year strategy slide for FFG,
they're trending or they're
right. Well, what is it? Is it are you trying to get to a certain core competency that you stick to this?
Yeah.
And is this going to be board games with app? Right, because they got their big Descent thing still coming.
Right. Tom talked about that he's hoping that Descent keeps them relevant, keeps them on the map. Because if the Descent thing comes out and people aren't as excited about it, if it's not as exciting as we're hoping it will be, because you and I are both big fans of Descent, and I think we both agreed that it needed an overhaul. So I mean, it was a little bit overdue. But if this doesn't hit all the right buttons and get people excited again about the game and about FFG. Gosh, I don't know. Tom made the comment that he doesn't know if anybody will be talking about them in 1 year from now. And
he said that?
Yeah, and when you first say that, it's that's a little shocking because they were at the top of the hill just 2 years ago, maybe a little over a year ago. We were all excited about everything they would have to say, and in a little over a year, they've gone quite a bit down that hill. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that they can turn it around.
They were always to me the leader in components, the leader in rules.
Yeah.
Right. The rule sets were amazingly written. The way they did the rules reference along with the learn to play. Right. So you get this one rule book that gives you the learn to play, then you get the second rule book that gives you the rules reference you can chime into.
Yeah.
It's just it's a little scary. So big change. Asmodee is just gobbling everything up.
And they just saw, just within the last 24 hours, I've started seeing information on the newest thing from FFG, which is the X-Men. Let me look it up real quick. I forget
Insurrection.
What the official title is.
Not the protocol one, because that one went to the Atomic Mass Games.
Well,
I think is running that one. The Marvel Protocol, not the Marvel Champions. That's the LCG style one that's kind of like Arkham Horror, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of this one.
I'm trying to find it here on BGG, and I'm having some trouble finding the new X-Men. But it's the new Marvel X-Men game that's coming out, and there was some anticipation about it. People were hoping it was going to be really good, and I saw Dice Tower again did what they call their Four Corners review on it just a few hours ago, and across the board, the four of them independently rated it, and it turned out all four, Tom, Z, Mike, and Roy, all gave it a 4, and all said that they were pretty disappointed.
4 out of 5 is pretty good.
Yeah, 4 out of 10. I guess let's be clear on that. 4 out of 10, and I'm sorry, 5 out of 10. They all gave it 5 out of 10.
Okay,
which is
something you're not going to bring back to the table.
Exactly. That's kind of what they all said. The components were below par for what they were hoping. Yeah.
FFG?
So, yeah. So that's, I guess there were bases. There's standees in this one. They don't have minis.
I'm okay with that.
And so they're standees, but they didn't give enough bases for the cardboard standees. And so you're constantly having to pull them off.
Just
and
tears
put them on.
the bottom up.
Right. They've only played the game a few times. They were showing some of the standees.
No.
The bottoms were all shredded.
But they sell standees too, so you could...
I didn't get a good look at them, so I don't know exactly how
is
they
that a trick?
are. But yeah.
It's hey, by the way, here's 4 standees for your 20 models.
And they talked about how
you can buy an extra pack from us.
FFG's been one of their things has always been they don't give you enough dice to play most of their games, and so you end up having to buy extra dice. Maybe that's the plan here. You got to buy extra little plastic bases for your standees. I don't know.
I like to put tape on the bottom of my standees. So if I have a standee game, take a little tape and you run it across the bottom of the cardboard wherever it's going to fit in.
There you go. Make it slick.
Not only does it hold the paper together on the cardboard from frame, but it also adds a little bit of girth.
All right.
So it's getting a little more sticky,
a little tighter when it goes in there.
A little stick-to-ness when it goes into the slot.
Well, there's a little tip. I'd never noticed that, so I'm gonna have to start looking for that in your games with standees. But
there's not many.
A tip. Well, all right. A tip for the viewers. Then I've never heard of that. So just
I think there was a game that came with them too. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Is that where you
Flick 'em up?
Flick 'em up had it.
Flick 'em up came with little clear strips, and that's where I got the idea from.
Little sticky tabs.
Yeah, you just little sticky tabs that you put on the bottom, because that game is all wooden blocks that you insert cardboard into to build the buildings. But yeah, standees aren't bad. It's just,
Well, like I said, they were showing one of them. Z was showing one of them that the bottom of it's all shredded from just them putting it on and off 4 or 5 times, and you have to do it sometimes multiple times, even in a game. So, yeah, I mean, it was bad. So there were a couple other components. I can't remember what he mentioned, but there were a few other things that were below par for what they were expecting. So I'm a little disappointed. I'm not a huge Marvel or X-Men fan. I mean, I know I've watched all the movies and I've seen a little bit about it, so I wasn't super hyped about it. But I know there were some people, some big X-Men fans who were really hoping for a lot out of this game, and I guess it didn't quite live up to what they were all hoping for. So,
yeah, Wayne in the chat, Wayne Kruger, man, Wayne has been here like every week.
Oh yeah,
for the last month.
Sweet, pitching in, yeah.
Still waiting for him to call, man.
Oh yeah,
and just chat with us. But Wayne says it must be pretty bad for all 4 of the DT guys to give it a 5.
Yeah, and if you know those 4 Dice Tower guys, they have a pretty varied taste. Z, well, I don't want to get into too much.
Z and I, we are not the same.
Yeah, it's a thing with Z that he doesn't like heavy games, but Z likes heavy games. It's just he does like a lot of quicker, lighter card games.
By heavy, you mean Pandemic?
Well, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, heavy's Pandemic's the heavy end there, but they do between the 4 of them. They have very different tastes. Roy's a younger guy. He likes
Roy's more my speed.
Ameritrash, yeah,
right?
Amerithrash,
He almost ticks over for Sam. Almost.
Sam was a little more extreme, yeah, in that wing. You got Mike DeLisio, who's a little closer to my age, a little older gamer. He's played a lot of stuff, and he does a lot of solo gaming.
He's very chill.
Yeah, he's very chill. He's got a taste there. It's hard to get him rattled. And then Tom's just his high energy. He loves the stand-up moments in games, and he likes quick, light, fun stuff. He'll play kids' games. Of course, he's got a bunch of kids, so that makes that a little easier. But they have very different tastes, is what you were getting at there. And for all 4 of them, and Roy actually mentioned that he's a big-time X-Men fan, and that he feels he was pretty let down by this game. He said he's still waiting.
He forgives a lot when it comes to Marvel games.
Yeah, he did.
Because even Marvel United, he gave it a better rating because it's Marvel.
Just because it's Marvel. Yep. He's a big fanboy, and he even said that this was he mentioned that he doesn't think there's been a game that's done X-Men right yet, and so he's still waiting for that game to come out. But even he was the first one to reveal his rating, and the other 3 didn't know what each rating was. They did them completely independently, and they revealed them on the show. And they were, by the time the 4th one came up, Tom was the last one, and they were just laughing that no way the 4 of us did this separately. And actually, in this case, the 4 corners that they do, usually they play the game together. This was the first time that actually they did not. They passed a copy of the game around. They all played it with different groups, and they had not ever played it together, and they all came to the same conclusions. So, unfortunately, that's a letdown, and I don't know that I'll try.
I hope it's not a foreshadowing of what's to come
from FFG.
For FFG, because FFG is I mean behind me. If you're looking at my wall, there's a lot of FFG dollars spent in this house
for sure. Even just
not even going to my garage.
X-wing alone.
Oh my gosh!
Between the 2 of us,
2 of everything, please. 2 of everything.
Every time something came out,
except for Y-wings, I need 4 of those, please.
Oh yes,
4 Y-wings.
Fly the 4 Y-wings.
Oh man, tournament days, brother. I missed that.
I do too.
I missed it. You got to come join me with some Blood Bowl tournament time.
Gosh, I'll try. I'll try to get into it.
I'll do vlogging this weekend when I go to Kissimmee, and hopefully get you.
It hasn't bit me yet, so
feeling that bug to go out there and compete.
No, we'll see. I like the competing part. That's fun, but just
dice.
That game hasn't done it for me. Dice, yeah. Anything dice heavy's not good with me usually, but. Anyway, I know I'm seeing here over your shoulder. You also wrote down, if we want to move on to the last thing that we have here, was the announcement about Great Western Trail and coming out with a new reskinned, redone version of it. I think they're changing the art. They're definitely changing the box. That's been one of the big things. One of the biggest criticisms about the original Great Western Trail was that what do they call them, zombie cowboys or something, and those dead eyes and the blank look.
This game looks so exciting. There's like 3 half dead old guys on there.
And the big thing on this one, they've announced a trilogy. There's going to be, so the first one's going to be kind of just a redo of the first game. There are some minor changes from what I understand, some streamlining and some fixing of some rules, but then there's going to be a second and a third one. I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but I believe those are going to take place in different locations. I want to say that the third one was... Oh, I don't want to guess. I can't remember, but there are 3 different parts of the regions of the world, and so you're going to be doing different things. I would assume similar. So it'll be curious to see as it goes along. There's not a whole lot of information about it yet. They haven't released a bunch of information. This is just news within the last couple of days. So I'm wondering if they're just going to reskin the game, because in each of the 3 covers, it's a different animal. You know, the U.S. one is mostly about trading cattle and raising cattle and trading them in, herding cattle. I know the 3rd one had pictures of sheep all over it, so or a couple of sheep on the cover. So I'm hoping they're not just going to reskin the same game and just put it in a different setting. Being that they're moving to 3 different regions of the world, hopefully they'll give a flavor and change up the rules and change up what's going on in each of those different areas. So
I was really excited before we played Great Western Trail.
Yeah, we can get.
We gave it a few. We played a few times.
We played a couple times.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't give up on it fast. I think Greg Rivera from Sarasota drove up here and
taught it to us. Yep.
I believe Brian was with him. But I'm a Western fan. Mm-hmm. I like Westerns. I like Western shows, Western movies. Mm-hmm. The idea behind me had me excited.
Yeah.
The idea of rustling cattle and selling them. I just couldn't, I guess, figure out the game.
Yeah, I know we had, like you said, we had both heard a lot about it, and we met Greg at Dice Tower. He actually taught us Scythe.
He got me into Scythe, heavy. Years ago.
Yeah, heavy into Scythe. He was doing all kinds of tournaments and playing hundreds of games and logging all his stuff online for people to look at. He was doing strategies and stuff on Scythe, but we told him, we just mentioned while we were playing a game of Scythe that we had never played Great Western Trail, and he was like a little shocked by that. You've never played? You know, I'll come and I'll teach it to you. So he drove down to your place and taught us how to play. And as you said, we were both really excited about playing it off the bat. So we were both really wanting to learn it. And the first time we played, I think after we were done, you know, Greg asked us, "So what'd you think?" And if I remember, we kind of looked at each other and we were like, "Oh, it's good." And then after Greg left, we played it again, and we were like, well, I think we need to try this again. We must have missed something, because there was all this big buzz, all this hype about the Great Western Trail, and we felt we must have missed something. So we played it again pretty shortly after that. I'd say within a week or two, we played it again, and we decided after that, we talked a little bit, and we decided that was probably the last time we'd play Great Western Trail. Neither one of us was blown away by it, certainly. I don't think neither one of us necessarily thought it was a bad game.
No, definitely wasn't a bad game. There was a lot of thinking involved there in trying to figure out how to get your guy to land on the right spot.
Yeah.
Which trail you took, because there were some opportunities. So it kind of had a feeling of a little bit of theme, right? Because depending on which trail you took, it could be a more dangerous trail or a trail that had more bonuses.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things they threw together in there. There's the hand management part of it, where you're drawing cattle cards, you're trying to match up cards, get cards of certain types or different types, so that you can go in and trade them in.
But then you also spend those cards to determine how much you move, and then you want to. So almost like a Mancala feeling, where you're like trying to move around the board in a certain manner to be able to hit certain spots.
Yeah,
it's. Argentina. Oh, they got nice bulls down there.
It's Argentina and New Zealand was the other one that I was going to guess Australia, so I was a little off there. But
sheep.
Yeah, New Zealand has the sheep in it, but I do see Argentina here has the bulls on the cover.
Yeah.
So maybe it won't be. Well, I guess they could maybe reskin it towards each of the different regions. But my hope is
they've got to add a mechanism to differentiate each of them.
I would think. Yeah, I would think that there's got to be some difference there. So that's my hope, is that they'll mix it up enough to make it interesting. But it is a very popular game. I can look actually real quick here again. Let me go back actually and see what the rating is here on BGG. I'm just going to use the back button here if I can.
I'll just click up there. Look at them teaching Rob computers.
Yeah, computer stuff for the old guy.
And so you hit the back button to get euphoria, man.
Yeah, too many times.
Yeah.
So let me go one more time here.
That's okay, folks. It's computer technology with Carlos and Rob.
Here we go. So it's an 8.3 rating. Its overall rank is 11. It's number 9 on strategy games. So there you go. I mean, that tells you how loved that game is. And I don't know. Maybe we still miss something. Yeah, we're missing something. Neither one of us were blown away.
IQ points. That's what we're missing.
And I just mentioned to you that I actually just...
But it could be because we played with Greg. No, we also didn't play with Greg, because Greg is so good at these games that it's hard to...
Oh yeah, I know. I think he creamed us when the time we played, but which is fine. I mean, I don't mind losing a game. Doesn't make me dislike it. But and then I was telling you, I picked up Maracaibo recently, and I had not heard all the comparisons between Maracaibo and Great Western Trail. I haven't played Maracaibo yet.
Yeah, but we're also both pirate fans,
right? So maybe
like,
that'll do it.
It has that Caribbean theme to it, so that one I'm looking forward to giving it a try because I like the theme. I'm looking forward to see how they do the landing on different spaces with the Caribbean. Yeah, you know, being someone from Puerto Rico, from the Caribbean, to see how they play that story out.
Maracaibo ranked 38 overall, number 23 out of strategy games. I'll pull up just a few pictures here, 1 to 4.
But I think this one's heavier.
It is, and there's Maracaibo is actually played. You can play just the first scenario, but there is a campaign of it. So there's a campaign deck. You can play without the campaign deck and just do a one-off, but you can also play a campaign. So it is a little different, giving you that option that you can do that. But like you say, it's Caribbean-based. You're sailing ships. You're not herding cattle. There are some cards, as you can see here. This is the player aid, it looks like. But there are some cards in the game that are multi-use that you can use a bunch of different ways. And so it is a very card-based heavy game. Strategy game, but
it's set in that Age of Sail, which I enjoy. You know, we also enjoy.
Merchants and Marauders is a good one.
That's
there.
a great one.
Yep.
What's the Age of Sail one I'm thinking of? The abstract Age of Sail.
I remember not one of your minis. I know
no, it's your game.
Games.
Expedition
Oh yeah. Oh no, you got me drawing a blank on that. Endeavor.
Age of Sail. This kind of hit off on that feeling a little bit for me.
Sure.
Similar age period, similar goals.
A little bit on the artwork, a little similar. Well, there's definitely differences, but yeah.
So that's why I had interest in this one because I do enjoy games with the Age of Sail, with the Caribbean kind of a feeling to it.
Endeavor, a much quicker, shorter game. Endeavor's, we've commented how much we like that game because you can do it in an hour. You can reset it and play it again. You can play it 2 or 3 times in a night.
Yeah, there's Puerto Rico. Yay, look at that.
Yeah, they got all the little places there. So
it's my people.
Back home.
It's my people.
Yeah, not mine. But
I couldn't tell, Robert.
Yeah, no? Okay. No.
Well, folks, that gets us to our hour. Again, time flies when people call.
Flew by, wow.
Wayne, I'm looking at you, bro. Just give us a ring, man. Just, you're always in here. You're always commenting, and I appreciate that.
Or if not, we don't want to shy you away.
It's up to you.
Yeah,
Be here and comment.
You can chat in the comments. That's fine.
You do you, boo.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad for the folks that watch live. James, thanks for calling. Pat, as always.
Sweet.
That's it for us today. I mean, we had some other stuff to talk about, but we
didn't get to it. We'll get to it next week.
Yeah, we'll have next week, and I'll be able to give you my report on how I do at my first Blood Bowl tournament.
Sweet.
And then we'll have another game of Thunder Alley this weekend. I'm hoping to get back from the Daytona race in time to log in for that.
Sure.
Because I don't want to get last place points again. I need to defend my 4th place spot.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. And with the channel, anything new coming? Any thoughts on the channel in general? I know me and the kids are talking about maybe doing something when we're done with My City, just doing a short little review video of it, maybe some pictures and some things. No spoilers because it is a legacy game. You are stickering some things and changing some things on the game board when you go, but we wanted to maybe just do our thoughts on it. So look for that video coming up if you're interested in My City at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of in exploration mode right now. I'm doing this mentorship with Ant Lab Games, also known as Maverick Games now, and we're exploring the whys of what we do.
Sure.
Right? Trying to build our why statements, our mission statements for our channels to help direct us. It's going to be a 12-week mentorship, so we're on week 2 right now. So yes, you will see changes or things that we are going to try or things that I want to do as I figure out who do I want to be. A big part of my whys, which I've got to share this with the cohort that I'm in, which includes Sarah Shaw from 1 Minute Board Games. She's in there,
cool,
in our cohort. So I want to share with them my whys, and one of my whys that I'm really focused on is some of the whys that I have are, I love board games. I believe that board games are a way for people to connect. I believe that people want to feel connected to other people.
Sure.
I believe that the most important component of a board game is the person on the other side of the table.
Oh,
it's true. That's what I believe.
Touchy feeling.
I believe people love to talk about games that they're enjoying and things that they love.
Yeah.
And I want to be that ear to allow them the opportunity to share that with the world through this medium.
That's what we're trying to do, yeah.
That's always been my focus is how do I get other people into what I'm doing? I'm not someone that does like I tried the vlog thing, and I just struggle with that. The idea of just like being, just pushing information at you.
Yep.
I want to have that two-way dialogue. So a lot of what I want to do in this channel and continue to do is going to be more of this type, giving people the opportunity to contribute, to be a part of, to have that conversation, to actually be heard, and talk with us.
Yeah, that's always been our thing, is allowing other people to contribute with content, and people from our game group getting in on the discussions we have, and just throwing all that out there. Yep.
Because I love talking about board games.
Sweet.
So that's what I'm working on for this week with my Ys. I'm super excited about that. Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Yep, I'm that Geek Maverick thing is really, it's helping me to focus my energy. Rob can see, y'all can't see, but Rob can see. I've streamlined my whole setup.
Yeah.
Down. I've got new lights behind me on the recommendation of my mentors for improving the lighting system. So I think in the next few weeks we're going to talk about cameras and quality and how to get better audio. So it's going to be
cool.
Hopefully improving for you guys. But most importantly, I want to be here to hear y'all. So we will see you next week.
Absolutely.
Call in, chat in, tell us what you got going on so we can talk about what you got going on and give you our opinions on it.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe if you like what we're doing. Give us the thumbs up so other people can find out about us. Talk us up with people in your game circles if you like what we're doing. And we'll definitely continue to putting out content if people are liking it. So,
Thanks for watching Beans and Nice Podcast, a podcast about
how we game.
I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
We'll catch you on the next one. Be safe, everybody.
Have fun.